the J.P. McCaskey Alumni Association has been proud to present these awards to those individuals who have achieved a level of stature which the students of the school district of Lancaster will once emulate. Whew, it's a mouthful. The five we honor today have, in fact, demonstrated outstanding character and achievement in their fields and in their community. Their success is not, however, the attainment of particular goals. Rather, it is better described by Herman Cain, a Morehouse College graduate, when he said, "Success is a journey, not a destination. It is an uphill journey with a lot of detours." These are terrific alumni of McCaskey, whose journeys are great examples and contain lessons for us all. This description of success being a journey reminded me of last Christmas when my wife took off to go on a shopping trip to King of Prussia, a place she wasn't very familiar with. Several hours after she left, and about the time I imagined she'd be running out of money and starting a trip home, a news break interrupted the TV show I was watching with a report that a car was going the wrong way around the King of Prussia Mall, causing all sorts of tie-ups. Being the caring husband that I am, I called her cell phone to warn her about the traffic problem. She answered a bit frazzled. When I told her the problem, she responded, "No kidding, there's thousands of cars going the wrong way." She's okay. We're pleased and proud to recognize his wonderful journeys of success today. Thank you for joining us and helping to honor the 2007 Distinguished Alumni Award recipients. It is now my pleasure to invite to the podium Principal Jamanis of McCaskey.
Good morning to all. It's a privilege to be here today as we honor our distinguished guests. At one time in the past, these guests themselves spent their high school years within the walls of this great institution. These guests themselves roamed our halls and sat in our classrooms, just like you are doing today. These guests themselves were sitting in the auditorium like you're sitting today, listening to assemblies. And I'm sure they have a lot of stories to tell, and some of them have already told me one or two. And they will probably share some of these stories with you today as well. And they will be with you a little bit later on talking about that. I'd like to acknowledge a couple of people that are up here on the stage with us. First of all, we have Dr. Rita Bishop, School District of Lancaster Superintendent. And also we have Dr. Jerry Bordeaux, who is the campus principal, McCaskey campus principal. And there are a lot of invited guests from the community here also. We'd like to welcome all of you and all of them and yourselves also today to this activity. At this moment, I call up here to the mic. I would like to introduce our MC for the morning, Barbara Barr, class of 79 from WGAL TV. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me back again this year to MC this awards program. I had a great time last year. And the first thing I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about the background of these awards. The Distinguished Alumni Awards were first awarded in 1995. They're presented each year to 5 graduates of McCaskey, Boys High, or Stevens High Schools, and the recipients have achieved a level of excellence that can certainly be used as role models for all of you out there, and they can definitely be considered role models for people sitting up here today. And now I'd like to introduce some past recipients of these awards. There are several that have come here today and come back, and we're glad to have them with us. I'd like each one of them to stand individually, and please give them a hand. From 1995, Dr. Paul Ripple, class of 40. From 1996, Nelson Polite Sr. Also from 1996, Barbara Valvanis, class of 45. Also receiving the award in 1996, Leon Buddy Glover. Mike Gordon Pratt. And from last year, 2006, Michael Perezus. And Clyde Lucas. Did you bring your drums this year, Clyde? No drums, huh? But thanks again for joining us again this year. It's great to have you guys back. Also at this time, we'd like to take time out to thank the guests and family members of our current recipients. If they would just stand as a group, please. Don't be shy. And one other group we'd also like to acknowledge at this point is the members of the selection committee that worked so hard to choose this year's recipients. Please stand as well. And now we're going to start with the introductions of this year's distinguished alumni. And the first is Stanley Buch, class of 1941. That was a very special class, and it was the first class to spend 3 years in this very building. And among his accomplishments, Stan served in the Navy. After leaving the service, he ran the family business, Buch Pharmacy, and he's also dedicated a great deal of time to the YMCA. And please welcome Stanley Buch.
Like most 17-year-old guys, I didn't think that English was the greatest subject, but Miss Munson knew that I had planned to go to college, where good grades in English were expected. So thankfully, her relentless pushing me to do better made a big difference in my record. Now here's a history lesson. For most of Miss Munson's career, she taught only girls. Then when McCaskey opened in 1938, she finally had a chance to teach boys in mixed gender classes. Where did you ever hear of mixed gender classes before? Miss Munson's teaching skills made Shakespeare's Macbeth so interesting that I was able to recite the dagger scene in front of the whole class and actually had fun doing it. But the story does not end there. 6 months after graduation, Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor changed everyone's future. I left college and enlisted in the United States Navy. Miss Munson contacted my mother to obtain my address, and we exchanged letters during the years that I was in the service. She did this for other boys in our class also. End of the story. But the point is simple. The associations you are making now with your peers and your faculty affect your future for more years than you expect. High school is the beginning of the prime of your life. Use it wisely and enjoy every minute. Thank you for this award.
Our next award winner, Donald Shelton, class of 1953. Now, Don was an outstanding athlete here at McCaskey High School. He set a record in the high jump, also played football, and he is a member of the McCaskey Hall of Fame. He served in the Army. When he returned home to Lancaster, he found his calling as a teacher. All thanks. Among schools he has taught, Princeton University. Please join me now in welcoming Donald Shelton.
Good morning. I never thought I'd be up on this stage again after 53 when I walked up that end, walked to hand me a piece of paper. I walked down the other end, I walked out, joined the service, went off to war, went to Korea, from Korea to Hawaii, and then back to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I have a lot of memories about this high school. One of my memories is I didn't have enough money to take the bus to school, and every day I had to walk from Duke Street to McCaskey. That wasn't bad in the winter time. It was only bad when it rained. And I always remember coming to school a lot of times and being soaking wet. I don't know if you've ever had this, and your shoes are so wet that when you're walking down the hall, they go squish, squash, squish, squash. There were a lot of students like that at the time. I had good teachers, and I had teachers I didn't think at the time were good teachers. One of the teachers I enjoyed, one of the subjects I enjoyed was biology. So it was something different, something I could grasp, something that I liked. There were subjects that I didn't like, but biology was one of my favorite subjects. So when I came out of the service, I said, what am I going to do? I couldn't find a job. It had to be a little hard times back then. I couldn't find a job that's paying me the type of money that I thought I should be getting, even though I ain't had a high school diploma. So I decided to go to college. And I had been offered a scholarship when I had graduated to Ohio State. And I wrote to Ohio State and asked them, could I come back and play football? And they said yes. And they asked me my status. So I said, I messed up my leg in the service. So they told me that if I came and got hurt, then I would lose my scholarship. So I figured, well, if I lose my scholarship, I wouldn't be able to afford to stay in the school. So I decided to stay home and go to Millersville. And that was, to me, one of my outstanding things that I did or efforts that I made was going to Millersville, from which I graduated, got out, and I eventually ended up teaching. And in my years of teaching, I enjoyed teaching. I enjoyed being with students. I enjoyed seeing what was happening because I remember what I was like in school. And I was something else in school. So I could look at the students and understand what they were going through and understand their thoughts. And I used to tell them, don't try it. I did it a long time ago. Eventually, I left teaching and went to college. I became an administrator at the college. I was a dean. These were things that I never even imagined or thought of in my life. Number one, I never thought about being a teacher, really. I never thought I'd be in higher ed and be a dean at that. I never thought that these things were possible for me to attain. Even though my grades weren't bad in school, I always did enough to make sure I passed. I could have worked harder. I could have gotten better grades. My message to you is graduate. I don't care what else you do. That should be your first vision, that you're going to walk up on the stage, walk down the other end, have your piece of paper, and pursue your life. It may not seem important to you right now, but as you travel through life, you'll find out this is your beginning. This is where it's all going to start. When you you're going to ask you, did you graduate? The simplest job, that's the first thing you see. Did you graduate or do you have a GED? So this is the time to start to prepare yourself. I'm not saying don't have fun. Enjoy these years, because once you leave them, you can never bring them back. So enjoy everything that you do, but there's more in the future. Thank you and good luck to all of you.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for wearing the McCaskey colors today. They look good. Our next award recipient is Dr. Richard Lockey. He graduated in 1957, and Richard, though, as great an achievement as this isn't even the first one in his family to receive this award. His mother, Anna, won it in 1998, so congratulations to her as well. Richard, he spent time in the Air Force, our third-straight award winner to have served their country. He's written numerous articles and edited many books on medicine and public health, focusing on allergies and asthma. And he currently works in Florida in the field of medicine. Please welcome Dr. Richard Lockey.
Good morning, Madam Superintendent and principals, faculty, friends, and family. I'm really honored to stand before you today. In fact, 50 years ago, I stood in this very same place, and I'll tell you a story about what happened to me when I was up here at that time. I want to thank my mother and my late father, my mother, both of whom realized that education is the most important aspect of attending school. I also want to thank all my teachers, who were always supportive but critical for my benefit throughout my educational process. And of course, I want to thank my family, my wife, and all my friends who are here today for showing up and giving me support through my career. Teachers are very important in our lives. I remember when I moved from East Petersburg, Pennsylvania to attend Lancaster Elementary and Junior High School. I moved into my 5th grade class, and Paul Darlington, who's now dean of one of the schools in Texas, one of my classmates, was assigned to welcome me. During my first day in class, he stood up to introduce me. As I stood up to say hello, my pants caught on the deck of the desk, ripped down the back with a great loud sound. Blushing, breaking out in the cold sweat, I said a few words, realizing my introduction was less than perfect. My teacher that day pinned my pants back together. Later that day, my friend Paul and I laughed it off, and my teacher counseled me about this great, embarrassing moment. She informed me that mistakes are human and occur to everyone, and that the important thing is to laugh it off and not worry about it. It was very comforting to know that I was in a safe 5th grade classroom. Another equally embarrassing moment occurred when I was standing right there in that place 50 years ago. I was president of my student body in my senior class, The Sertoma Club at that time provided each senior with a copy of the Declaration of Independence, and as class president, I was presented with the first copy. I proudly responded, making a major blunder during my talk, which I won't talk about, causing everyone to laugh. I had learned to laugh with them. I shrugged it off and went about my business that day, joking with other classmates as they reminded me of my blunder. Mistakes can result in positive learning experiences, and teachers, friends, and family can make a huge difference in how we cope with all of our mistakes. So when you see friends and colleagues in your class make mistakes, laugh with them, support them, and don't criticize them. My parents always taught the 4 children in our family that education comes number 1, not sports, which I played here at this high school, not extracurricular activities, which I participated in all the time here, not girlfriends or boyfriends. Today, all too often, particularly among the males in our society, sports and other activities have become too important at the expense of education. In fact, today, females seem to be more academically inclined than males. Females should excel. Females should excel, but so should the males excel. So I'm talking to the males in this group here. Excel, graduate. Females do the same. You in this audience should think about what you want to do in life, whether it's become a mechanic, nurse, electrician, secretary, plumber, construction worker, computer scientist, teacher, engineer, whatever. Education is absolutely necessary for each of you, no matter what you do. And you will realize that even more after you graduate from high school. Remember, graduate from what? From high school. Remember, education is one of the keys to success. And graduation is very, very important. When you graduate, go to college. Go to junior college, to trade school. Work your way through school. And obtain the necessary education, do what you want to do. Also, be the best you can be. And remember that a well-educated secretary, plumber, mechanic, or anybody is absolutely essential to our economy and to our country. One other comment. Today, a career in science, which I am in, doing research, teaching, and seeing patients, such as mathematics, engineering, biology, physics, any of those sciences, is extremely exciting. Science continues to change the way we live our lives. Advances in science will be necessary to continue to feed the world, to develop new alternative energy sources, to provide better health and a better way of life. The medical residents, students, and postgraduates I have enjoyed the most are those who work the hardest. Grades, while they are important, do not translate into success in any profession, including science. It takes dedication, continued education, and hard work. Success is not defined by how much money you make, what kind of house you live in, or where you travel to. It's defined by being happy in what you do, liking your job, liking your profession, and having great interpersonal relationships with your family and friends. It is defined as becoming a good parent, because a good parent nurtures children to become responsible and enlightened students and citizens. So if you're going to become a parent, become a good parent. Thank you. My greatest joy in life is my family. Remember, good family relationships lead to happiness, and happiness is success, and success is happiness. Try to pick a career that you will like and then learn to love it. Be innovative, get to work on time, and do the best you can do, whatever that job may be. In your spare time, do meaningful activities with your family. Volunteer for Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Big Brothers, religious activities. Stay active in your community. You live in the greatest country in the world, a country that welcomes everyone regardless of their ethnic, religious, or economic background, and still affords each one of you great opportunities. Your generation, as all generations before you, is obligated to keep it that way. You will face hardships and problems. Learn from them. Work hard, be successful, and be happy whatever you do, and don't forget to what? To graduate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next Distinguished Alumni Award winner is Barbara Burgess, class of 1974. Barbara has received a number of degrees, including a master's from Georgia Tech. She has achieved great success in the field of industrial engineering, was obviously paying attention in math and science classes. She's also worked with the Department of Defense and has volunteered her time to mentor high school students. Please join me in welcoming Barbara Burgess. McCaskey High School. To the J.P. McCaskey Alumni Association, fellow alumni winners, and all others that share this stage, guests, and last but not least, you the students, good morning. I want to start by thanking my parents, John and Susie Burgess, for their love and sustained support for my success and my dreams. Thanks to my brother, John Jr., class of 1976, who nominated me for this award. And thanks to the many family members, friends, teachers, counselors, and advisors who have helped me by pushing and prodding me up this ladder called success. Today, I am honored and humbled to stand before you and share how McCaskey prepared me for the success I have achieved. I am currently a senior program management analyst for the Office of the Secretary of Defense, and I work in the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. The program that I provide support for is called the Chemical Demilitarization Program, whose mission is to safely destroy weapons of mass destruction that are actually located in 8 states here in the United States. And I manage and support a budget of approximately $1.5 billion. The basic qualifications needed for my job are good, strong math and science skills. And I was able to get those started right here at McCaskey. It was here at McCaskey through counselors like Mrs. Marilyn Williams that I was provided information on careers in math and science, and we worked together to determine the courses needed to get me into college and achieve the career goals after college. I was actually recruited and scouted by colleges, resulting in my first plane ride to visit the University of West Virginia. I was accepted, but I ended up going to Atlanta, Georgia, to actually get away from home and to try to capture the experience that I enjoyed when I went on a college tour that was sponsored by McCaskey. Through Ms. Williams, who actually took me with several students to the Armstrong Corporation to a career day, my interest fell into industrial engineering. The only careers in math and science that I knew about in the 70s were teachers, nurses, and doctors. Today, only your skills will limit meeting your career goals. McCaskey also prepared me on how to relate with people from different cultures, ethnic backgrounds, and races, which is very important in the working world. McCaskey allowed me to work on my challenges and my weaknesses by providing extracurricular activities such as sports, clubs, and teams. It is truly not enough to come to school and attend class and then to go home. There were and are opportunities here at McCaskey in areas from yearbook staff to language clubs to debate teams to drama clubs to the gospel choir that you should take advantage of to not only make your successes beyond these walls and to become a productive and giving citizen of the world, but by going for your dreams, and to also be that well-rounded person that you know you deserve to be. The best managers or leaders are not necessarily the smartest, but those who have good common sense and can relate to and work with others. But it all starts with a dream. Just remember, live like you only have tomorrow and learn like you will live forever. Thank you. And now for our fifth Distinguished Alumni Award winner for this year, Michael Jamanis, class of 1984. Michael couldn't be with us, but he has a couple of guests here that will be accepting the award for him. To tell you a little bit about Michael, he developed a love for music at an early age. His parents actually founded the Pennsylvania Academy of Music. Michael's instrument of choice, the violin. He graduated from Juilliard School of Music and School of Fine Arts, among other schools. Let's hear it for Juilliard. And he's also a member of the Newstead Trio that has performed around the world and on a number of television shows as well. And once now, we'd like to introduce those who are going to be accepting the award for him. And you might know them, a couple of McCaskey students, and also students at the Pennsylvania Academy of Music. Nicole Souter, a sophomore, and Rebecca Rapp, a junior here at McCaskey.